All right, so picking back up with the marriage thing. So basically, like I was saying in the last video, I'll probably just say all the same things again. Is that marriage? It was created. The marriage contract, all that stuff was created to protect the woman. It wasn't. It's not like some earthly or heavenly thing passed down to man. It's some principle that we're supposed to follow. When a man and a woman get together in sexual union, they become one. Like the puzzle piece fits together and the two become one. That's the two flesh becoming one flesh. And the way they become one flesh is also simple because they bear a child. The child is a combination of the mother and father. So they become one flesh. But it's not necessarily some principle or the way that we're doing it now, which is why it's failing in a sense because uh, I mean you could say 51%. If it was 51% successful, you could say that that's successful, but that's not successful. Doing something like flipping a coin and it be stay married or divorce, stay married or divorce, and sometimes half and half. That's not successful. That's I don't think that's the goal that we're shooting for. So something that we understand is incorrect. And that's the reason why they have marriage contracts that are binding. And then you have to go through something to get that thing unbound. That's the reason they do that, is because they understand that it's not natural. And that's why they need a contract. So we're trying to make something work that doesn't work. And we don't understand why it was set in place in the first place. So we're trying to make it work in a way that it wasn't meant to work. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about with that is, yeah, like I said, how Jesus talks about they don't give in marriage when they're of the resurrection. Those who are born again go through the exact same understanding. Though being born again and being known as you are known are the exact same thing. So when you see yourself in part, like Paul was saying, it makes perfect sense. Everything, all this illusion makes perfect sense when you're a child and you think as a child and you speak as a child and you understand as a child, the illusion makes perfect sense. When you're not known as you are known, the illusion makes perfect sense. But when you become known, then you put away those childish things. When that which is perfect comes and that which is in part is done away with. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you understand all these things and this greater way, this more perfect way, this understanding, this perfection, and knowing even as you are known is love, unconditional love at that. Now, it's also recognizing what you truly are, what you are as an entity, what you truly are as a being, so that you relate to yourselves and existence in a correct way, so that you get the correct results that you're actually looking for. So when you shoot the arrow, you hit the mark, as opposed to beside the mark or above the mark or missing the entire target completely, which we know all those other things are what the word sin actually means. So you understand how to shoot and hit the mark every single time when you understand the correct paradigm. When you're looking at yourself in the correct paradigm, and that's what being born again actually means, so that you can see the kingdom and enter into the kingdom. And I'll talk about being born again in another video, as I said. But they don't look at themselves as the personality on earth. They recognize that that is the what people call the ego. It's the self. All right. For example, the the you before incarnation is I am. When you incarnate, you take on this like a split identity, I guess you could say, and that is I am this. So the this is what you create. So for example, my mother and my father, they decided my name was going to be Olusegun for Cancun. So I am Olusegun for Cancun. You know, what do you do for a living, Olusegun for Cancun? I am an internet marketer. What would I do in this situation? Well, in this situation, I would do this because I am this type of person. You see what I'm saying? But in all actuality, you are existence. So you are, and that's it. I am. That's it. Self-existing existence, life, self-breathing existence. That's what you are. The essence that leaves a body and makes the body look fake now when a moment ago the body looked animated. That's what I am actually is. when you incarnate on this place of identity, on this level of, on this place that has separation and distinction, you have to label things. So you are that you are. I am that I am. You are what you assume yourself to be in that sense. So the people who wake up and come out of this illusion recognize that they are not, they're no one's husband, they're no one's wife. So it's hard for them to keep up this illusion while everyone else around them is still disillusioned. So it's hard for them to continue to operate along those lines, especially with them understanding what unconditional love now is. Because what unconditional love actually says is no matter what you do, I will love you the same. As opposed to uh, we are in a contract and I vow to love you no matter what. You know, I vow to love you for better or for worse, for sick or for health, for rich or for poor. I vow to do that. Those things, that's the exact same thing as having commandments on stone that you have to follow externally and sacrifice for because you never change internally. So you have to continuously sacrifice the lamb, the bulls, the pigeons, all that stuff because you never changed internally. For people, the same thing, people who go through the same thing over and over again and have to repent daily, make a sacrifice, or you can have a change internally so that you no longer have to go and read what you can and cannot do, but you live it out internally. You know what I mean? And that's different than having the vows to have an actual character of unconditional love so that I don't need vows. I am love. I will love you unconditionally regardless. And if you actually knew what that person was, you could do that because you would be looking at them from the correct paradigm. You wouldn't see them as man sees them, seeing the outside. You would see them the way God sees them, seeing the inside, seeing their heart, seeing what they actually are on their base level, and then seeing why they are the way they are in their humanity, understanding that they are the way that they are because of for a reason. They are the way that they are because of the way that they understand, the way that they love, or because of what they fear. Understanding that they're upset for a reason. You know what I mean? Like when you understand that when a person is wounded, uh, when they're wounded emotionally, it's as if you stab them physically. So when they respond to you, they're going to respond to you as if you threatened their life or as if you're trying to kill them. They don't know that, but they're responding that way, that way. So if you understand that, when you understand that they're snapping on you as if they've been wounded, then you have to recognize that you have somehow, uh, they've interpreted something you've done as you wounding them. So if you can understand that, whether you wounded them or not, or whether you meant to or not, it makes perfect sense why they would act the way that they act. And instead of you getting into an energetic contract by reciprocating their energy, you can look at them for what they actually are. Because in every case when that is happening, they are acting out like if you're in relationship, whether it's friend, family, a lover, whatever it is, if you're in relationship, then they're being the person that you ask them to be so that you can learn unconditional love. So every time they get upset with you, it's an act. Who they are on a soul level is standing back with his hands folded, smiling, waiting to see how you're going to respond, to see if you're going to learn unconditional love this time or if you're going to stay in the illusion, until the next time they snap out and you learn, or you have an opportunity to learn. And you, on a soul level, are smiling because this is what you came here for, to grow. On a physical level, like the two actors in the movie, that person's upset and they may have just made you upset and about to say some stuff that you didn't even want to say to them that's going to hurt their feelings that they might harbor for another 6 to 7 months, if not longer than that. You see what I mean? Or you could just wake up and be like, oh, yeah, that's right. You're supposed to do this so that I can learn unconditional love. That's what we agreed on when we first came, but before we decided to come to Earth together and be these different characters. So let me act as if you're a soul pretending to be upset at me so that I can learn unconditional love because that's actually what's going on. It's very hard to understand, I know. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about being born again, so to maybe shed more light on it. All right, thanks for watching.